gonna try this again. It's like you missed, but it's okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vinny McCall. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today's my second time filming this video. So hopefully everything goes well. It doesn't fall apart like the first time. I wanted to do the comparison between all Bianco Latte and all the Bianco Latte Dupes, okay? So that's the original, Caramel Cascade, White Milk from the Dupe brand, Eclair from Latafa, and that girl from Oksha, which really should not have entered the chat, but okay. Before we get into that, I have to always thank my amazing, beautiful, incredible subscribers. You guys are amazing. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. POP, hold it down to the True Shum Double Squad in the building. Showing up, advocating for me when I don't even advocate for myself. Engaging with all of my crazy ideas. See, that's really the problem is y'all don't stop me. When I have a crazy idea, y'all don't be like, I don't know. Or, you shouldn't do that. Y'all be like, okay. And it just, it encourages me to do more crazy things. So if y'all stop, I'll stop. That's probably not true, but that's what I'm gonna go with. But I really always feel the support and I really feel like y'all behind me and all the things that I'm doing on my endeavors. I really feel like I have y'all support, and that means the world to me. So I love y'all for real. So like I said, this is my second time seeing this movie, filming this video. Let's talk about the original, which I did eventually acquire, right? Do I want to grab the little travel size that I have? So yeah, this is the decant that I got, and that's how much is left. So not much at all. What I want to say is my experience with the decant and the original bottle has been completely different. For some reason, the decant, it took me almost 2 months before I was actually able to smell anything. And I'm not kidding, half the bottle was gone, was me coming back periodically from time to time spraying to see if I could smell anything. I could not smell anything. Finally, after about 2 months, I was actually able to smell it. I wore it out a couple times, and it was just, you know, it was okay. It was whatever. I did not have the experience where people were like, you know, it's a compliment getter, it's beast mode, you know, all the things. That was not my experience for some reason with the decant. When I got the full bottle, it took me about 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes before I got the full experience of the perfume, right? I could smell it after a couple minutes, but after about 20 minutes, I could really smell it. That was not the case with the decant. Also, the compliments and stuff, it did not happen the first day I wore it. So I had on a sweatshirt, and I was out all day, probably like 8 hours. And although I didn't get a compliment, I could still smell it. Like every time I would turn the air on or a fan on towards me, I was like getting whiffs of myself, right? I could smell it, but I wasn't getting compliments. I don't think it was beast mode yet, but I could smell it. The next day, I had to run out the house real quick to do something. So I said, let me just throw this sweatshirt on, run out the house, and come back. I was gone maybe 20 minutes, if that. But when I walked inside the building I needed to go into, before I could even get in good, the lady was like, oh my God, you smell so good. She was like, what is that you have on? Mind you, where I was going into, there was also like food and stuff around there too. So like, to smell a perfume over food is a big deal. Mind you, I said this was the next day. That was, and was the first time wearing it. And the next day immediately was like compliments. So I don't know if, because I do think this scent DNA, this profile, my nose gets somewhat, goes nose blind to it. So I don't know if my nose just needed to adjust. I don't know if this just needed to really sit somewhere. Maybe decanting it changed it a little bit and it had to, I don't know. I'm not even saying that there's any validity to it. I'm just saying that was my experience. It just wasn't my experience with this, the decant, like it was the original. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that was just my experience. I did eventually have that experience with being compliment getter, all the things, but it wasn't until I got the original bottle. So let's compare. I think the first dupe that I got was Caramel Cascade from Paris Corner. Now this one has definitely changed over time. What I want to say is they all the perfumes that I'm going to talk about, they all still have the Bianco Latte DNA. The basic essence of what Bianco Latte is there in all of them. So just acknowledge that as a base. You get an idea, no matter which one you get an idea of what Bianco Latte smells like. And they all smell very, very, very similar too. It's really a matter of minute differences. One has more vanilla than the other, or more honey. Like, it really is minute differences that distinguish them. But they all are basically there, basically giving Bianco Latte. So Caramel Cascade, when I first smelled this, I liked it, and then by the time the next day came, because I wore it the next day, I was in love with it, right? Performance on Caramel Cascade is exactly what you're looking for. Amazing performance, compliment getter. Not too much. I feel like this is a year-round vanilla scent. I feel like you can wear this in the winter, in the fall, in the summer, in the spring. Not too much, not overbearing, but very good, very compliment getting. As far as the comparison between Caramel Cascade and the original Bianco Latte, let me spray it again. Ooh. There is a note in here. Okay, you kind of get that Play-Doh kind of plastic vibe a little bit. This one feels brighter and warmer to me than the original. Well, it's warmer than the one I want to use. I think it feels brighter and warmer than the original. Besides, you still get the undertone of the little plastic thing is there, but it goes away very quickly, but it is there. I want to say there's like more vanilla in this or something. There's something that's amped up a note just a little bit more that makes it feel brighter, is the best way I can explain it. A lot of people said they picked up root beer in this. I don't get root beer, to me, in my opinion, especially not now. I hate this atomizer, by the way. For a $150 perfume, y'all could have came up with a better atomizer. That's all I'm saying. But it doesn't smell like root beer to me, but I guess I can understand why people would interpret it that way, but it doesn't smell like it to me. So this is the original. Hold on. Yeah. It's the Caramel Cascade, and the original is the same, except for this one just has more of something to me. It feels a little more happy. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels brighter to me. I think I almost want to say a little bit sweeter too. I do kind of see why people get a root beer vibe. I do understand that. I'm not going to say root beer. I'm going to say root beer float. I do understand why people get a root beer float vibe from this. But I happen to enjoy that. So take that with a grain of salt. But I do get the root beer float type of vibe. Do I think this makes this a little more juvenile than the original? I can see that. I can see somebody saying it's a little more juvenile than the original, but still the basic essence of Bianco Latte is still very much there. Look at these little flowers. The basic essence is still there. It's still Bianco Latte, just a more brighter, maybe even a little more creamier, because I agree with a little more root beer float vibe, but I like it. It's a compliment getter. It lasts all day. Caramel Cascade. This is white milk from the Dupe brand, okay? This is another one. First of all, look at my little dent. Okay. This one, look how good that atomizer is to me darker than the original is. So if Caramel Cascade is lighter, to me, white milk is a little bit darker than this one, than the original. They all open up with some type of plastic, almost synthetic thing to them. Even the original does. I don't know if it's the way vanilla has to be done or something, but there's a little plastic, maybe Play-Doh. They all have that to me. They all have it to me. But this one is a little more grounded to me, and it's not as sweet, I think. But again, that's me being very nitpicky. The essence, the base, I'm gonna say it's like 95% there. I get something a little more spicy in this too. Something comes off a little bit more spicy in this than the original. And the original is a little bit sweeter than this one is. From the Dupe brand than white milk. But again, it's still there. The basic DNA, the basic essence of Bianco Latte is there. Compliment getter, lasts 8 hours plus. If you put this on at nighttime when you wake up in the morning, your pillows, everything gonna smell like white milk. It's there. Especially once you spray it and get a full cloud going, it's Bianco Latte. Like, it's Bianco. Like, nobody's gonna smell you. And like, if somebody knows what Bianco Latte smells like and you walk around them wearing white milk, they're gonna think you have a Bianco Latte. Like, that's how close it is. Let's talk about Eclair from the top. Now, this one, I'm going to just go ahead and agree with the girlies that pound for pound, note for note, Eclair is the closest and most accurate dupe of Bianco Latte. Okay? Like, pound for pound, note for note, I got to give it, it is like 99.9. What I got in my eye? Jesus. Pound for pound, note for note, it's right there. They were the last to come out, but I'm gonna say that they were the last, but they saved the best for last. Okay, they were in the lab working, figuring it out, going back to the drawing board to get it accurate, and that just goes to show you sometimes you don't gotta be first. Getting it right matters, because they are. It is pound for pound, note for note. It's like 1 for 1. Yeah, like if I'm not careful, I would mix these up, because it's there. Now, so far, I would also have to agree that the performance is not there yet. Okay, I'm not saying it won't get there, and I'm not saying it's terrible, but especially in comparison to the other two that I've talked about and what's happened so far with the original, how I could still smell it and got a compliment the next day. Eclair was not given that. I put Eclair on before I went to bed. I sprayed my pajamas and like my arms and stuff just so I can get a full, scent bubble. When I woke up, it was not on my skin anywhere, and I had to like pick up my shirt and sniff it, and I was like, oh, okay, I smell something, but it was not giving. It wasn't very present. It was not very present. But I could still smell it. Like if I sniffed my shirt, I could smell it was there, but it wasn't giving a cloud, an aroma. It wasn't there like that. Okay? And especially not in comparison to the original. However, if you want an accurate feel, a smell for what the original will smell like, then Eclair so far, to me, in my opinion, is the most accurate, is the most spot on. I will have to agree with the girlies. They were right about that. One more that I feel like shouldn't even be in this conversation, but okay. This is Oksha and Paul React's Viral Vanilla. As you can see, it's still in the box. Only reason why I didn't return is because Oksha is acting like it's the end of the world. And they were like, well, how about instead of returning, we just give you $15 off? I didn't even respond because I was just so annoyed. But this is that girl from Oksha and Paul Reacts. It's still giving Guitar Center. Specifically over there with the snares and stuff. And the drumsticks and stuff. Woo! They say that's just the Oksha DNA when you first get a new perfume from them, that they all just kind of have that smell to them. That was not my experience with the first one I had from them, which is the only other Oksha perfume I have, is the other Paul Reacts collab, which is the hybrid between 540 and Lost Cherry. That one was an immediate able to wear, lasted a good amount of time. Like, I didn't have any problems with that. I don't know why I'm having that experience with this one, but apparently this is just the Oksha DNA that comes with all of their perfumes. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I don't know if this is supposed to be a hybrid between Bianco Latte and Escapade Gourmand or just Bianco Latte. I don't know. Either way, I feel like it really should not be in the conversation. It really should not be in the chat. I don't know how she got invited to the group chat, but delete her from the group chat, because I have to sniff hard to find where the Bianco Latte DNA is. This to me is not a good example or a good dupe, as of right now, I've only had it for what, I don't know, a month. But this would not be, to me, in my personal opinion, a good representation of what Bianco Latte is and what to look forward to from Bianco Latte. Now, it could change. By the time the fall comes around, I could be in love with it. And that's fine, that's cool. But that's what, like, this is what I'm getting right now. This is excluded from what I said about all of them having the basic Bianco Latte DNA. This one is not included in that. Not this one. I was talking about white milk, caramel cascade, and Eclair. I'm sorry, it's just not for me. It's not for me yet. It still has heavy plastic, heavy synthetic, walked into a Guitar Center smell. Yeah, it's just, I still don't like it. It's going back in the drawer. And I hope and pray that by the time the fall comes around, she has changed drastically. I am struggling with her. I am struggling with, what's it, that girl? I'm struggling with that girl. Me and that girl is struggling. So, I guess if I had to pick, ooh, this is hard. Having now on the original and having a pretty good, why every time I do that? Now, if y'all gonna be charging $150 for bottles and stuff, they need to be pristine. Every time I close the lid, it like sprays something out. Having the original, having the encounter with the original, which one would I personally buy? What I will tell you is, so far, Eclair would come in, well, the auction one would come in last, okay? Then it would be Eclair, only because of the performance. I am okay with having a dupe that smells just slightly different than the original and having better performance. To me, personally, having the better performance is more important than having a spot-on dupe. The other two are close enough. I forgot what I was saying, but yes, this is the most accurate. But in my personal, what I prefer, I would prefer to have better performance and have a perfume that's a little bit different than the original, than to have a spot on but maybe have to like reapply and not have as good a performance. Performance is really important to me. So how long it lasts, leaving like a scent trail, or having really good sillage, being able to smell it at the end of the day, even though you put it on at the beginning of the day, not having to reapply. Those are things that are important to me, because I don't reapply. I'm not bringing a perfume with me. I'm not reapplying. Number one, I always say, is because I go nose blind to my own scent. I've gotten complimented so many times and I can't smell my own self. So I never reapply because I never know when I can still be smelled or not, and I never want to choke nobody out. Like, though I want to be smelled, I don't want to take nobody out the game because my scent is that strong. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. So number one, I never reapply because of that. And number two, I'm not bringing a bunch of bottles and stuff with me. That's just too much. So being able to put it on at the beginning of the day and it lasting to the end of the day is very important to me. So yes, this is the most accurate representation of Bianco Latte, but the performance being lackluster as of right now knocks it down a peg to me personally. Now, if 6 months from now, if I'm able to come back and say beast mode, compliment getter, last all day, all the things, then this would be number one. But for right now, it would come in, it wouldn't be the one I would keep in my collection. Well, not that. It just, if I can only pick one, it wouldn't be that one. Now, between Caramel Cascade and White Milk, I really, it's going to be Caramel Cascade for me. There is something that they did to Caramel Cascade that makes me crave this scent DNA. I can't think of the last time. I know it's happened, but I can't remember the last perfume that I smelled and wore it, and then the next day was craving to wear it again. Like, was craving the smell. Like, I was on somewhere and I thought somebody else had it on, and I was like, who else got my perfume on? Like, that's how bad it was. They did something in here that I genuinely really love. And this would be it for me. This would be it for me. It's gonna be Caramel Cascade for me. However, White Milk and Caramel Cascade are honestly deserve to be in the same spot as it pertains to a really good overall good dupe of Bianco Latte. That's the smell and performance, sillage, like beast mode, all the things. Like these two are really neck and neck, and it's honestly a matter of preference. It's honestly a matter of which one you prefer over the other, which one is created in the way that you like. Okay, some people might find this one too juvenile. Some people might find this too lactonic or too creamy, whatever the case. Some people might find this too mature. Like, it really is just a matter of, the difference is by a note or two. A note or two more amped up in one than the other. The other thing I will say is I think this is more easily accessible. White Milk is a very coveted scent from the Dupe brand. And when it does restock, you got 30 seconds to check out. Checkout is that your credit card information needs to already be entered in. Don't take time to log into your PayPal or to type the numbers in. They need to already be preloaded, pre-locked, and pre-ready to go. Okay? 30 seconds in from the time, add to cart, your computer refreshes, take it to your cart, and you click checkout. That's how long you got to get out with White Milk. And you got to hold your breath the whole time and pray it don't get snatched out your cart, because it will happen. That is probably the biggest difference too, is that Caramel Cascade is a little bit more accessible, a lot more accessible than White Milk is. Also, White Milk is only a 34 ml, and Caramel Cascade is 100 ml if I'm not mistaken. I think this is 100 ml. So, overall, again, like I said, between the three, you're getting Bianco Latte. I would say they all are at least 90% there, to me, in my opinion. Eclair, I'm going to agree, is the most accurate pound for pound, note for note. The other two are still very close. It's just a matter of preference. One's a little bit sweeter, a little more creamy. The other one is a little not as sweet. But they both have better performance than Eclair. They both last a long time. So it really is about what's important to you, what matters to you, what's more accessible. Is accessibility something that's important to you? Is something lasting a long time? Is that not important to you? Because I'm sure you can at least get 4 hours out of Eclair. If you're a person, I don't mind reapplying. If this is going to be the most spot on accurate version, then that's the one that I want. It really is just a matter of what is most important to you. But the three of them, I'm not including. I'm sorry. That girl, she is not included in this conversation. But, yeah. They're all pretty much there. I do not like that yet. So yeah, head over to the aftercard and let me know what you think, especially if you're a person that has owned or smelled the original and smelled a dupe of the original. Let people know like what your comparisons are, what your thoughts were, what it smelled like to you, so that to help people make an informed decision on what they want to do. If they want to break down and spend the money and buy the full thing, or if they want to get a decant, which I don't want that story to deter. I don't want it to prevent you from getting a decant, because that's honestly what I would suggest either way it go. Even though I shared the story I shared, my suggestion would still be to go somewhere and get a decant of the original. Yeah, for some reason, this decant, I struggle with it though. I can smell it now, but it still takes a little time to warm up. If I come back to in like 20 minutes, I can smell it, but I can't smell it immediately. Even with this Bianco Latte, the full bottle that I've only had for, I don't even think I've had this for a full month. I don't need the 20 minutes to be able to smell it. I need about 5, but I don't need 20 minutes like I just, I don't know. Just share your experience so that people can make an informed decision and figure out what they really want. If you get one of the dupes, so I think you still need the original. I don't. I think if you find a dupe that you like, then you basically have Bianco Latte and you really don't need both. In my honest opinion, I think they've all done a good job of being close enough to the original that you don't have to spend $150 on the perfume if you don't want to. They've gotten close enough. They've gotten very close. They've gotten extremely close. You really don't need to, unless it's just a wish list item that you really, really want, you really, 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 really don't have to get this. But yeah, you got it. You didn't ask me what I think. What I did. You asked me what you should do. I've talked long enough. I love you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.